Let's talk about storytelling and metaphors and how they engage the brain. Now, storytelling and metaphors are powerful tools that engage your brain and influence your thoughts and others, their emotions and their behaviors. So you can use these techniques, and these techniques have been used for centuries in art, in literature, in culture, and we've got some recent research that is shedding more light on the underlying neuroscience of storytelling and metaphor, and it's really cool when we start to look into their potential applications in fields such as marketing and business and education and psychology and art. You know, it's really interesting stuff. And at a basic level, storytelling and metaphor, they work by activating multiple regions in your brain, which include those involved in language processing, visual and spatial processing, and emotional regulation as well. So when we hear a story or a metaphor, our brain creates mental images and associations that help us understand and remember the information more effectively than if it were presented in a straightforward, logical manner. We love visuals, so our brain creates this sort of map and this visual in our brain. And one way in which storytelling engages the brain is through the use of narrative arcs. And these are the patterns of tension and release. These, ooh, is it going to? Are they going? Oh, they did. Oh, yay, they did. And we know these. These are common to all stories, really. And as the story progresses, your brain anticipates these moments of tension and of release. And the release of that tension is often accompanied by a rush of positive emotions, such as relief or pleasure. Now, this creates a sense of engagement and emotional connection with the story, that build up and that release. And that makes it more memorable and more impactful. Now, metaphors, on the other hand, they work by linking abstract concepts or complex concepts or ideas into something more concrete and provide a more sensory experience. For example, the metaphor of life is a journey. This helps us to understand the ups and the downs of life by linking them to experiences of traveling through different landscapes and encountering obstacles and challenges along the way. It makes sense very simply, and by making these abstract concepts more concrete and tangible, metaphors help us to understand and to remember complex information more effectively. So it's all about these mental shortcuts. Now, the underlying neuroscience of storytelling and metaphor, we see this in several different brain regions. And like I said, these are the ones involved in things like language processing, memory, emotional processing as well. So you've got the hippocampus, which is a region of your brain that's crucial for the formation and the retrieval of memories. So that's one part of it. And we've also got the emotional processing as well. So hippocampus, that's there, that's doing all of the stuff that we need it to allow us to remember stuff. We've got other things like your amygdala at work, which is helping with emotion processing. So it's not just that hippocampus. There's other crucial regions of the brain that are responsible and in play when we are listening to stories. So your amygdala, we know that that's involved in emotion regulation. That's activated by storytelling and metaphor. And so what that tells us is that these techniques have the potential to elicit really strong emotional responses from people, and they have the ability to also influence ours and others' attitudes and behaviors. Now, the use of storytelling and metaphor has potential applications in a lot of different fields, right? In business, for example, we use storytelling to create a narrative around a product or a service or a vision or a mission, and this makes it more memorable and engaging for consumers and for our employees as well. In education, metaphors are used to help students understand complex concepts, such as the idea of the metaphor is like a brain in neuroscience. Now, it's not really like a brain, but it helps us to understand it in a way that gives us a foundation to then build our knowledge and to then build our understanding of what it's really like. Now, in psychology, we use storytelling, and storytelling is really great to use, In psychology, storytelling can be used to help individuals overcome trauma and negative experiences by creating a sense of coherence and meaning around those experiences. But here's the thing, right? It's really important to note that storytelling and metaphor, they're not just a panacea for all problems, right? There are some potential pitfalls to their use as well. For example, if the narrative is overly simplistic or if it relies too heavily on stereotypes or biases, this is where it could then reinforce negative attitudes or it could perpetuate harmful stereotypes. Now, similarly, if the metaphor is too vague or it doesn't align with somebody's individual own experiences, this is where it can be less effective in helping them to understand and to remember the information that you're trying to tell them. So the idea of storytelling and metaphor, it means that these techniques, yes, they are powerful tools for engaging the brain and for influencing our thoughts, our emotions, and our behaviors. They activate a whole bunch of multiple regions of the brain and they create those emotional connections with the information. And we know that they've both got the potential to improve things like learning and memory and decision making. And we can apply these everywhere, right? You can apply these personal life, professional life, business, sports, education, wherever you want. Storytelling and metaphor are great. But we need to remember that we need to use these techniques with care and consideration. And we need to make sure that the narrative or the metaphor that we're using aligns with the people that we're communicating with. It aligns with their own experiences and that it doesn't perpetuate harmful stereotypes or biases. And again, this isn't just so that we're a nice person and we're a good person. Like, that's great. That's a benefit. It's because that is the way to make sure that it is the most effective. And that's what we want. We want to connect. We want to engage, we want to simplify. And that's what storytelling and metaphor helps us do. Bye now.